Good morning. It's September 1st, opening day here in Wyoming. It's 42 degrees, 3:30. I got about a 1,400 foot climb ahead of me. Hopefully I can get into some elk. It took me a little bit longer to get up here than I was thinking. Right at about 2 hours, but I'm gonna cast out a few bugles, see what we can hear. Update, it's about 10 o'clock. I just got back to the truck. I heard 2 distant bugles this morning, both coming off private land. I had a herd found before the season started on the back side of this mountain here. But being that they were only about a half mile away from a main trailhead, a couple other guys are already on them. So the play this afternoon is going to be to head further south and try to get away from some of this hunting pressure. Yards, 2 spikes. I don't know if they're by themselves or with a herd, but I'm gonna follow them and hopefully they can lead me to the herd. All right, it is September 5th, Friday night, about 10:30. I just pulled up to some BLM where we'll be camping tonight. Ryan flew in to Denver this afternoon. He's gonna meet me out here any minute now, so I'm gonna get camp set up. The plan for the morning is to get up on a glassing knob right at daylight, see if we can hear any bugles. He's toast. Like I said, I'd hit him with my truck.
Dude, that's a freaking stud.
Let me see those when he stopped real fast, if you don't mind.
He's looking right at us.
Oh, he knows. We're skylined and he heard us. I'm just getting some good video for the YouTube right now. Gonna have to cut the audio out. Little update. update. Me and Ryan saw a good 5-point bull chasing a cow this morning. We also saw a good 6-point bull working his way further back into the public. So we headed back to the truck, loaded up on supplies, grabbed our tents and everything, pushed back in here a good ways. We split up tonight. He's further down on the same ridge, down this finger. Gonna see if we can split up and see more country. Hopefully hear some bugles. Maybe even see a herd tonight. That was the craziest thing that has ever happened. I just called that giant 6-point in to 50 yards. Couldn't shoot him. Just had a cow tag. His cow was right behind him. She only made it to 80 yards. My thermal switched. It dropped right down the hill on top of him. So close. Well, elk won today. That's a painful one. That one hurts. So close. All you can do is try again tomorrow. They're still in there. There's multiple bulls bugling in that drainage, so hopefully try to get some sort of sleep tonight. Get back after it in the morning. I was bugled at that one yesterday constantly, but that could have been a fluke, though. I don't know. Do it that way. I just heard him do like a grunt. He's right here. He's still right there. He's right here. He's raking. That's what that noise was. If I was right here yesterday, yeah, I would have whacked that cow. I'm saying if you would, if right now you went further down, you might step out. He probably would. He does not want to come out. He's closer. He's just standing. He's getting closer, but he's staying in the timber. He's right there. On the right of the dead tree. To the right of the dead tree. No, he's looking at us, I think. Yeah. Yeah, he did. But he's up further. Yeah. All right. It's been a while, but it's opening weekend of rifle season here. I just got off work. Gonna head out for the weekend. Opening day was Wednesday. I tried to get out after work, but we had a bad storm here. So I ended up just sitting in the truck till dark, driving around, glassing. I haven't hunted since like the middle of September. I spent the last couple weeks of September and the first 2 weeks or so of October scouting new areas. where I can get a bull tag next year. Still on a couple herds back here, and we're supposed to have a nice cold front this weekend. It's supposed to snow, so we'll see how it goes. All right, it's Saturday morning, 5:22. I just packed up camp because I don't know if I'll be staying here for the weekend. Packed up camp, made some breakfast, some oatmeal, coffee. It just started snowing. I'm hoping it stays cold enough to where it stays snow. I did watch a guy shoot a 6-point about a mile from where I'm gonna be this morning, so I'm hoping that doesn't mess up my plans. Well, we'll see. Ice storm. It's blowing 40-mile-an-hour gusts at least. You can't see 200 yards. So I made a little fire. I'm going to try to wait this out. Hopefully it'll be moving whenever this is over with. The sun came out, but it didn't last long. The wind switched and it pushed in this snowstorm. So thankful it isn't ice anymore. Still can't see very far, but I'm gonna sit right here in my little huddle of rocks and drink coffee and try to stay warm. All right, snow finally let up a little. I can see a little further, so I did a big loop around to get the wind in my face. I'm gonna hunt my way back to the truck with the wind in my face. It was about 80 last Saturday. I don't know if it's hunting pressure or if it's this weather that's got them hunkered down. But if I don't see anything or see any fresh sign, I'm gonna go check out a new piece this afternoon. Heading in for the weekend. The game plan is to hike in a couple miles tonight after dark, get camp set up. That way I can be hunting from right outside the tent in the morning. Gonna camp in the same spot that me and Ryan were in when he was here in September, and I called in that 350-ish class. Well, I haven't been back in there since, but I'm hoping with it being a couple miles and probably around 1,500 feet of elevation gain that I can get away from some of this pressure. But we'll see how it goes. All right, made it to the trailhead. It's hard to find a better view than that. Headed up and over, back down, down, and up. It'll probably take me about 2 hours to get there. Got the pack all loaded, food for 2 days, and hopefully we can run into them back there. I made it back here. It was about 3 miles. Didn't take the best route because it was pretty dark. But I got camp set up. Took me a little over 2 hours. Took it pretty slow. I didn't want to spook any elk, and I didn't want to burn myself out before the weekend. I should be able to glass like 300 yards from the tent, so I get to sleep in the morning. Saw a surprising amount of elk sign on the way in. I didn't see any boot tracks, and the horse tracks I saw looked like they were at least a week old, so I'm hoping that the elk are still back here, but time will tell. Got to sleep in. I got me some hot oatmeal. Breakfast in bed. I'm living large out here. Just glassed up one of the biggest bulls, if not the biggest bull that I've ever seen. I tried to get some video of him, but I just got a little glimpse right before he tucked into the trees. He was all by himself. I don't know if that's good or if that's bad, but it's the only elk I've seen so far. I've seen a couple of mule deer. It's quite a bit colder than Onyx said it would be, so I'm trying to drink coffee to stay warm. It's about 12 o'clock, sitting here at camp, eating some lunch, getting refueled up for this afternoon. I had to drop down this ridge down to the creek bottom to fill up on water for the rest of the weekend. But I'm gonna keep glassing this afternoon. All I saw this morning was that one bull, a couple of deer, and 3 coyotes. Headed back towards where I saw that bull. He was all alone, but I'm hoping that there's a herd of cows that's back in there. This is camp, tucked in these trees, away from the wind. I just popped over this ridge, and there's like 15 head of elk right down below me, like 150 yards. I'm gonna try to scoot up the trees and then get a shot. Was absolutely nuts. I came right over the top of this ridge. I was gonna glass about 40 yards down this way, and I just crept over the top, and then 40 elk were sitting right there. A couple of spikes, but mostly cows and calves. I don't know where my first shot hit her. It had to have hit her good because she bedded down immediately. She didn't want to walk, but the second she bedded down, her calves and the whole herd surrounded her, so I couldn't get a shot. She started to hobble up, and I got a second shot, and I shot over her back. I shot offhand at like 200. I should have taken more time. And then they worked their way down this ridge, and I was able to sneak into 80 yards and put a third one in her to get her down. But that was absolutely nuts. Well, it's going to be a long night. Got a lot of work ahead of me, but I got an elk down 400 yards from camp. Oh man, tomorrow's going to be a long day. Let's get it. Man, they are such big animals. This is the first one I've ever seen on the ground. They're so much bigger than a whitetail. I have got a long, long weekend ahead of me. Camp is right there. I'm gonna go drop my pack off, at least the stuff in my pack and my rifle, get that dropped off, get down here and get to work. I got her all quartered up. I wasn't able to film any of it. My phone was about to die, so I had to plug it up on the portable charger, but I got her quartered up. I got the two front quarters together, hind quarters separate, and then a bag of loose meat. The plan is to shuttle all the meat to the top of this ridge and then see what time it is from there. I may shuttle it all down to the creek as well. Might be a long night. Finally made it back to the tent. It's about 12:45, maybe 1 in the morning. Ended up being like a 13-mile day, but I got the meat hauled up the ridge, down, and then in the creek bottom hanging up. Tomorrow morning I'll pack up camp, go grab the meat, and then start shuttling it to the truck. I'm gonna try to eat some Mountain House. Feeling pretty nauseous, a little dehydrated. Yeah. All right, got camp all loaded up. All of the meat is down here in this creek bottom. It doesn't look that steep from here, but it's the steepest part of the trip. So the game plan is to shuttle the meat from the bottom up to the top, and then to shuttle it halfway to the truck or so. I'm hoping I can get away with just 4 loads, camp and loose meat being 1, hind quarters being 1 each, and then the 2 front quarters at once. But let's get down to the creek. I gotta fill up on water. I used all my water last night for dinner, and I gotta get some coffee in me. I'm pretty tired. Loaded down. First trip up. Here we go. I guess it wasn't hard enough, so I went and fell in the creek up to my knees, so my feet are soaked. Luckily, it's going to be like 45 today and hopefully sunny. So I guess my feet will just have to dry out on the trail. It's fantastic. I'm not in a hurry per se, but it is supposed to rain and sleet in the afternoon. At least it was. I haven't checked it the last couple days. So I am trying to kind of hurry a little bit to hopefully miss that. Made it up to the top with all 4 loads. Still probably got about a mile till we get to the truck, but it's all downhill from here. Shuttling has been working pretty good, so there's about a half a mile right here where it's pretty steep. I think I'm going to shuttle it down there, and then I should be able to catch up on the trail, store the meat in some shade again, and then that way it's just half a mile somewhat flat to the truck after that. Thinking about trading my truck in for a horse. It might get cold riding him to work, but this is brutal. Packing down out of here in September, Ryan lost the stabilizer to his brand new bow. He was pretty upset about it. Perfect condition. Finally made it. Took 23 hours and who knows how many miles. But I got her on ice. Time to go home. I'm hungry.